We got a lot of trash talk to get to. You ready?
Heck yeah.
It got started yesterday.
Makes things fun, right?
Oh, it does. Grant Delpit was asked about being an 11.5-point underdog. Survey said.
What do you think about the fact that you guys are 11.5-point underdogs going into this football?
Whoop-dee-doo.
Is that some Freddie Kitchens in there?
Has he been? No, he ain't been here long enough.
That's whoop-de-hell.
That's whoop-de-hell from him. He was also asked about tackling Derrick Henry. The internet went crazy with this answer.
How hard is he to bring down, Derrick?
Not hard. I mean, he's playing football, man. It's tackle football. Somebody got the ball, you got to bring him down.
You want me to get to Jerry Jeudy and Kyle Hamilton, or do you want me to make my case right now about that answer?
No, get started on that because this one got fiery yesterday, especially with the Browns posting Grant Delpit telling last year Derrick Henry he was too small.
Yeah.
He gave the too small signal, and then a bunch of people reminding the Browns, oh, yeah, the guy that's too small. What did he do to JOK's career?
Jesus.
That wasn't that. Now that can't confuse it as a straw man. Go to the side.
I understand.
Holy
but we don't,
cow! The Browns are getting annihilated by their own fans yesterday.
Okay, let's not play these cards for crying out loud. Derrick Henry was asked about those comments from Grant Delpit. At least the part about tackling Derrick Henry not being hard. Here's what Derrick Henry said.
Derrick, did you get a chance to see Grant Delpit? You said that you're not hard to tackle. Do you have a reaction?
I mean, I saw that. I saw his coach had a tweet, a quote, and, he had a quote. We'll see on Sunday.
Oh. They're grown men. Is Grant Delpit supposed to crap his pants with fear and run away?
No.
Okay, so what's Grant is? I mean, he could. If you guys want them to say things, and then when they say things, we're going to freak out because you want something to react to. And I couldn't help myself. Like, yeah, man, when they suck and they're losing, it's annoying when they talk trash, and it's annoying when they celebrate and dance when they're down in football games. Freely, wholeheartedly, I admit that, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. But the defense played well. Grant Delpit played well. Grant Delpit's been a pretty good football player. Like, I had a lot of people jump in because I brought it up on social media yesterday. And I said, well, I want a professional football player to be confident that he can, especially a safety, that he can tackle a guy like Derrick Henry, can tackle anybody. And I had a lot of people, do people think Grant Delpit's bad at football? I got a lot of people saying, and I thought that they were lying to themselves, by the way, because I had some people going, well, I would be okay with it if it were a good football player saying it. I go, Grant Delpit isn't our best defensive player, but he's been a good player.
I said when you asked me before the show, I'm like, yeah, he's decent. And then I go, but he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. And then
Mitch immediately said, yes, he did.
Like, yes, he did make a Pro Bowl. He made a Pro Bowl last year.
Well, we don't think of the Pro Bowl as anything too great anymore. But
if you're making Pro Bowls, unless you're Snoop Huntley,
you're at least
all apologies.
All apologies.
Yeah, that means
you're at least a good player.
Yeah, guys that make Pro Bowls. I mean, there are guys that are just like bust draft picks.
Okay.
Like, they're never mentioned for Pro Bowls.
So you're with me on this, because I had also said back to some of the people, no, that's wrong. Because if Myles Garrett were to talk a bunch of trash, Myles Garrett's our best defensive player. If Myles Garrett were to say all those things that Grant Delpit just said, and the Browns go out there and get boat raced, you're going to be mad at Myles Garrett for saying it. You'll just be mad. So anybody who says anything, you're going to be mad. Well, why is it? Why is it that way? Because we're afraid we're going to lose. And not only are we afraid we're going to lose, we're afraid we're going to get boat raced in the football game on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. Why? Because you're 12.5-point underdogs in that football game.
Well, here's where I'm a little conflicted on this in general. Like, we had some fun earlier in the week with whether or not Kevin Stefanski needs to fire up the team. And then you gave an impassioned speech with all the history, including all the history and how Baltimore fans think you're a laughing stock.
I admitted they wouldn't care at the end of that, though.
Well, maybe not everybody. I think sometimes some of that bulletin board material, let's remember, every athlete, we always joke about how millionaire athletes act like they've been disrespected around every turn. They act like nobody believes in them. 5-star recruits who went on to some of the best schools in college, maybe won national championships. Then they go to the NFL. Maybe they end up playing or winning a Super Bowl. Then they go, no one believed in me. And we always laugh about that, but it is something they have to drum up internally for their psyche to get them in a certain spot. So I'm conflicted because I'm with you normally is Derrick Henry going to play harder now?
Well, that's what I thought. I go, is he going to tackle himself? Is he going to run out of bounds? Is he going to lay down and call it a day? Like, no, he's going to play just as hard whether you say anything or not.
But these guys they're famous. Athletes are famous for trying to find any kind of bulletin board material, even when it doesn't exist. They try to find it somehow, some way.
Derrick Henry's a great running back. He's 31 years old to be doing what he's able to do. I mean, I know he fumbled the ball at the end of the game on Sunday night.
Which cost him the game.
Which cost him the game, but he still had 169 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
He's a beast.
He was a beast. He's an absolute beast at 31 years old. The amount of carries he's had in his career, it's mind-boggling that he's still able to keep it going.
All the logic.
Yes, he really is. He's an outlier to any of the conversations that we've ever had about anybody falling down. And I have a lot of respect for Derrick Henry. But I don't play in the NFL. So I can all I want. It's like, guys, they're pros. They're pros. And Grant Delpit's a good football player. So, yeah, they're going to say things.
Yeah, you don't want our players cowering. You don't want our players backing down. You certainly, we love that they get into it with Cincinnati, and it seems like that does fuel them and get in the heads of the Bengals. Now, that's the Bengals. Now, we have had some success against Derrick Henry. Last year, that was not the case. He averaged almost 7 yards a carry against us.
Pretty good against us, but I'll never forget that 2020 game. I mean, they ran him on 4th and 1, got a stop, and then I think he fumbled the next carry.
Yeah. Well, with Tennessee, he played for Tennessee.
Now, here's the bulletin board material.
And then the next game, he had like 20 yards total.
Here's the bulletin board material problem here.
Which was 2023.
Jerry Jeudy was asked what challenges do the Baltimore secondary present to him. Here's what he said.
Baltimore secondary, a lot of notable names back there. Just what are the challenges that group presents to you guys as receiving?
No challenges.
No challenges. Kyle Hamilton, one of the best in the business. Here's what he had to say about Jerry Jeudy's comments.
I mean, God said whatever you're going to say. I really don't care. That's the thing with, like, bulletin board material that I never understood is, like, was I not going to play hard before he said that? So it's like, I'm going to play the same way I was going to play. Like, if you need bulletin board material to go play how you need to play, then that's a problem on you.
So Kyle Hamilton made our argument for us that we just said. If he needs it, and I do think that the Browns do need a little bit, I think they do. I think that's how, especially that defense, I think they want to take everything personal, and to me, that's fine. A guy like Kyle Hamilton, he's exactly right. Derrick Henry ain't going to run the ball any softer just because Grant Delpit would have said, oh, he's a great running back, and we just respect him so much, and I'm going to go out. I'm actually not going to try to tackle Derrick. I'm going to go up to Derrick. I'm going to try to negotiate with him, and then we'll come to a peace settlement there, hopefully around the 45-yard line, and maybe it's going to be a 9-yard gain for Derrick instead of a first down. Hopefully we can negotiate something there. Like, no, he's going to run hard. He's going to boat race you. He's going to try to run you over no matter what. Not using that word anymore. He's going to try to run you over no matter what because he's Derrick Henry. I mean, he's one of the few running backs that are a future Hall of Famer.
So I do see fans on both sides of this. Like, fans were so fed up with the team and their choreographed dances last year. Remember, we had Rodney McLeod in here talking about that. What was it?
I had to ask him about it. It was
the
awkward.
Giants game.
I forget. They
did this dance and end up losing. They
had the pick, but it got called back.
Oh, it got called back too. Yeah. And fans were fed up because they were losing games every week, and the defense, you would have never known it. You would have thought the defense was acting like they were on their way to the Super Bowl. So fans definitely did get annoyed with that at some point last year. So the only word of caution I would have is you almost now have to back it up, because if you don't back it up, fans are not going to want to hear anything the rest of the year.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Because you're 0-2.
You're right about that.
And you're looking at this schedule. They're going to be big dogs against the Packers.
Is it just a loss, or is it like, hey, if they lose the same way, we're going to be talking about other things. But say they lose 20-18. All right? That's a good offense. You held them to 20 points. Say you lose 20-18, and Derrick Henry's held to 87 yards. Okay? Are they allowed to talk next week against Green Bay?
You mean you're 0-2, though?
It's not about going out there and we're going to whoop their ass.
Yeah.
It's, well, is it tough to take on Jordan Love? Is it tough to take on those? Like, at what point do you just have to stop no matter what because of your record?
It's a good question.
You're damn right.
I think, Kenny, this is for the not real life folks, the folks that live on the internet and get in fights with other fans. They're the ones that end up having to pay the price. right? Like they have to have it rubbed in their face that their team talked and talked and talked and then couldn't back it up or couldn't win. So those are the people that are going to be the most annoyed, and then they turn on the Browns. Then they're like, guys, I'm trying to argue for my favorite team, and you guys are talking all sorts of smack, and you're losing and you're dancing, and we're still the laughing stock of the NFL. We're still bottom of the barrel. We're still a team that Vegas doesn't think has a chance to win many games. Like, those are the people who are going to be the most annoyed with it.
216-474-0092. Let me ask you point blank. Do you think the Browns should be talking at all?
I would probably have it measured. I don't think I'm doing anything more to fire up Baltimore at this point. I wouldn't go that way in a game you're, double-digit dogs. But I have no problem with them answering the questions the way they did. Like, yeah, what are they supposed to do? Just back down?
I heard the Jonathan Nick argument. Now it was just a promo. I didn't hear it live. I just heard that promo before the show. I don't think they're going to run it up on you because of the comments. I think they're going to win the football game if they're going to win the football game, and that's going to be it. I do think final scores matter. Like, if you go out there and you get blown out 40-0, probably not going to want to hear a lot of trash talk getting ready for Green Bay.
Yeah.
If you play a tight football game, I think that this is what motivates these guys. This is what's made them a sharp-edged defense in the past. I know we have 1 year where that's been bad, but we've had a couple of years where that's been very good. And I say go ahead and keep doing it because you're 12.5-point underdogs anyway, so you can go out there and be quiet and get your ass beat in the first place, or you can be loud and get your ass beat. You might as well try to carry some sort of an edge and go into a football game with some emotion and with some passion. I got somebody else talking trash coming up here momentarily.
As the fans, if you're a Browns fan, you feel like
they're going to back it up.
You can't back it up. And then who gets made fun of? Like, yeah, the players, like whatever, players go at it. But you, the fan, especially in rivalry games, like when it comes to the Steelers or it comes to Baltimore, like you might not work with Baltimore fans, but if you are active on social media, you're just arguing every day to argue. Yeah, you have to bear the brunt of it.
We have to understand, though, that these are critical games. And Grant Delpit is not a garbage football player here. He's not an also-ran. He's not a forgettable one. Grant Delpit's been a pretty good football player. He's not the best defensive player you have on your team, but he's not garbage. But we have to understand how important these games are, not just because you want to win them, because you want to try to do something this year, but also even if you're thinking big picture. I know Mary Kay said something to us yesterday, and maybe this is going to go to a different direction than what I wanted to take this segment. Mary Kay had said Super Bowl window. They believe their last Super Bowl window is closed, and they're trying to open up their next Super Bowl window. And that had a ton of reaction yesterday at 8:20 in the morning. Even myself, I go, can you describe, let's back it up a second, can you describe Super Bowl window? Like, I was a little taken aback by it. These are important games because Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender. Green Bay next week is a Super Bowl contender, and you're giving them 10 days off before they play you. That's going to go really well for us. Detroit's supposed to be a playoff team. The Vikings are supposed to be a playoff team. Pittsburgh, they didn't go get Aaron Rodgers for nothing. The first chance you have to let up is that Week 7 game against Miami, who's already having player-only meetings. So I know that, hey, Mike McDaniel showed up in a Lamborghini, might be leaving in a U-Haul. If you play well in these games, I don't want to turn, but we have to do moral victory. I don't want to turn it into just that. I think you start to look at the roster a little bit differently. If you play well in these games and win a few of them, you go, well, how far away are we?
Yeah, we're not a bottom three roster like some of the sites tried to argue.
Now it may look like, gosh, if it's 0-6, it may look perilous. It may look like a terrible situation, in that, hey, maybe I ain't saying that about Grant Delpit anymore or any one of these other guys. But if you win a couple of these games, we know what the quarterback situation is. We know what the wide receiver situation is. But if you win a few of these games and you go, okay, I guess we're really not that far away. Because Cincinnati's supposed to be a team that vies for the playoffs. And I go, boy, it didn't seem like we were that much worse than the Cincinnati Bengals.
We were better than the Bengals.
I think a lot of people would say you were better.
I thought our roster might have looked better than the Bengals.
If you go roster to roster and see where they are, it's going to put a lot of pressure on some kid who's getting ready to play quarterback tomorrow in college. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that young man, because now you got to hit the ground running with whoever you take. But there is measuring sticks here, and they've been a trash-talking team before. They've been an annoying trash-talking team before. Well, if they're going to say something, you might as well say something. Go ahead and say it.
Has it been a Schwartz thing, or did it predate Schwartz? that these guys talked a lot. I mean, Denzel was there before. Miles was there before, obviously.
I think it ebbs and flows. Like, you remember Danny Shelton celebrating the tackle he made when they were down by like 30 against Houston. I think that you do need to know time, place, things like that. If you go out and you get a big sack and you're down 30-7 late in the fourth, probably not the time to go out there and celebrate and do dances and things like that. But hey, man, you're rolling. Feel it. Feel the moment. If you have a chance to go out there and win a game and steal a soul while you're doing it, go ahead and feel the moment. But if they're not going to be that great of a football team and that's what gets them going, then I can't have them be like, hey, we think you're going to be bad and you should be quiet while you're bad doing it. There will be a time where probably they are 1 and whatever, and then you are going to be upset going, hey, man, shut up. Be quiet. It's week 2.
Do you think there is a divide in the fan base based on age? Like the older fan?
No, I don't think so here. I don't think so here.
Doesn't want talk, is always against the spouting off, doesn't like touchdown celebrations, doesn't like...
we are getting a little bit older.
Because me and you grew up and we never cared about that stuff.
And I think there are some 60-plus, 70-year-old listeners who are listening to us, but I also think there's more 40-year-olds, more 30-year-olds, more 20-year-olds than there are those. And they grew up in a different generation. And we see the greats, and the greats, they wear their emotions on the sleeves. They make up things of disrespect. It's like, hey, man, you're going to have to do something to get yourself motivated. You can't tell me to go out there and fight my ass off to win a game, but not let me go through my process. They have to have confidence in themselves. Like, you may think they're not going to be that good, but why can't they have confidence in themselves? Why can't a professional athlete, a guy who also gets paid to play the game, like Grant Delpit, say, yeah, you know what? We play the game too. And I've tackled Derrick Henry before. You guys make him out to be some sort of a Zeus. He's a good football player. Like, I think Grant Delpit would say he's a good football player, but it's not that hard. Is that a totally ridiculous thing to say?
No.
Or is this a Friday before a Browns game and I'm afraid of what's going to happen?
No.
If you guys think that, go ahead. Let me have it. That's fine.
The only devil's advocate I could come up with is maybe there was some hope that the Ravens would not be taking you all that seriously. That sometimes is when an inferior team, when a double-digit dog wins. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
My next
That's
retort,
out the window.
My next retort was going to be they're desperate for a win. They're 0-1. Their fans are talking about, man, we might have just lost home field advantage in the playoffs because you lose the tiebreaker to Buffalo with that loss by coughing up that lead late. So I think it's hard for me to fathom a world where the Ravens weren't going to get up for this game.
You're 0-1. It's a home game. That's what's going to happen. Rob Long was on Afternoon Drive yesterday. Rob Long is the morning show host over at 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. He was asked about the great big celebration that's going on in Baltimore. And, you would think, what do you think he's going to say about this? That he likes it? Well, guess what? He likes it.
First of all, it's week 1. Traditionally, these things are done week 1. However, in this situation, you would probably, if you didn't want to be petty, not do it week 1. I think it is petty. However, I like it. I think it's something done intentionally. I like it. The shoe was on the other foot, and you got the new Browns, and you won the Super Bowls, and you had Ray Lewis, and you had Ed Reed. You'd be waving it in our face. I get it 100%. I understand. I'm not sitting here saying you guys are crying about it. You need to stop crying. No, you have every right to cry foul. But sitting where I'm sitting, I don't care.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know Rob Long, so I don't even need to say I respect him. I wouldn't. I think it's a classless gesture. I think it doesn't take too much to change some things around and be classier than that. You want to do it against Detroit next week?
You don't think you'd be having fun with it?
Because it's a shot at the fans. I don't take it as a shot at Myles Garrett. Like, you guys, some people are getting this totally mixed up this week. I'm not defensive of the guys in uniform. I'm defensive of the fans. I think this is a shot at the fans. Like, what do you want me to do?
But isn't that what's supposed to be fun about a rivalry is poking and prodding fan bases?
Should I fight fire with fire and get down in the gutter with them and have Bob Irsay Day here on the show for the rest of the morning? And have big clips of Bob Irsay?
They'd probably be a little confused.
I think they would be. I think they'd be very confused. So what's done is done in the past. I'm just saying you don't need to continuously dredge it up. And they continuously dredge it up, and I think we know why. It's because Art Modell being kept out of the Hall of Fame. And I think this is a direct poke at the fans. And if he wants to go there and take it to that level and say, fine, he wants to make fun of the fans, fine. That's his level if he wants to get down in the dirt and be classless with them. But I'm not going to do that. If the Pittsburgh Steelers were to have the same history, I've done a lot of trolling of Steelers fans, and I've had a lot of fun trolling with Steelers fans, even though, hey, there's been times where I've had to sit there and take it, like when Duck Hodges beat us. That was a very, very, very ugly Sunday into Monday for me. But if they actually lost a team, I'm not doing that because I think it's depraved.
So I was going to ask, so it's really hard to say, but, I talked about the rumors that we were going to get way back when, we were going to get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And let's say we would have stolen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and like I said earlier in the week, I don't think anybody would have cared. I think everybody would have been like, yeah, now we get a team. We get a team back. This is how the NFL works. It's a business. It's a dog-eat-dog world. All right, so if we would have had the Buccaneers, we would have won a couple Super Bowls, and then we had the Buccaneers scheduled on opening night. You don't think there would be...
I wouldn't rub their fans' nose in it.
I know it's impossible to say because it didn't happen.
I would not rub their fans' nose in it.
I'm just basing it on how their fans seem to be loving this.
I
just imagine all fans are kind of the same, aren't they?
No, I'm not. I'm a fan. I'm not the same.
Yeah, but
I'm a fan. I'm not the same.
It's not the same. That's what I'm saying. It's hard for you to conjure up that same situation.
Well,
but had it have happened, and had we have won Super Bowls, and had there been a war of words between the fan bases over the years...
Well, the only thing I can tell you is the truth. If we can steal a team and then go win championships in that sport, like if you want to sit there and steal the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm not going to rub their noses in it. If we were to steal the Columbus Blue Jackets and then go win 2 Stanley Cups, it's the only other scenario I can think of right now off the top of my head that would actually be somewhat even feasible. Yes, if they got a team back. I'm not going to do anything like that. I mean, why is it so hard to have some class as an organization?